And welcome everyone to another exciting adventure on the energy that surrounds us. I'm your host, Michael, and tonight's guest has been on several times and is always welcome and grateful when she has time in her busy schedule to come on. And it's always so much fun when we get going on topics, so I cannot promise where we're going to go tonight, but I can promise it'll be fun.
It's ADHD paranormal time. There we go.
And I love how you just said that, and my ring light just went from multicolored to a solid, soft white light without being touched.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, shit's been happening. Can I cuss? I know I ask you every time, but I can't remember.
You can,
I'll try not to.
but I'm going to do something a little different because everyone, I'm sure, is well aware of LaLa and her intro and her story. So I think we ought to just jump right into a conspiracy theories. And do you have one on your mind right now that we should jump into and start on?
Oh my god. Okay. That's all I read before I go to bed. I read. It helps me relax. And I love conspiracy theories. I'll stick to like the paranormal, otherworldly ones. Well, like we were talking about, if you want to talk about the Three Eye Atlas, we can talk about that. You know,
Yeah, everyone seems to be curious about it, and I'm curious, what are your thoughts on it?
part of me thinks anything that the the public shows regular people is a distraction and it's just full of shit. There might be something, but I think they're raping it up because something else is going on. But then there's a part of me that thinks, oh my god, what if there are other beings and crafts, and I mean there's huge crafts in the sky. We know this. Maybe something is coming. But then the other part of me thinks I've seen a huge crash. It was a couple miles long already in 2020, right before the pandemic. And so there's things already here. So I don't know what the reason is on why they're letting us know. That's what I'm curious about, I guess. What do you think?
Well, my curious thought about it is one is that it's AI, and so, you know, who built it, who sent it, and I kind of take the stance and viewpoint as a culture in a world and as a planetary energy, we have just kicked the pants out of the dark malevolent forces and they're being cornered and removed. So I don't see the powers that are helping us go, oh, hey, there's a malevolent satellite, let's let it come to Earth, and, we'll take care of it there. It's
Right.
like, yeah, I don't buy that. I don't think it's meaning us any harm. I don't, but then again, AI itself is just a program. It's who programs the AI
Right.
that causes the AI to learn a certain way. And by that, I mean, if you take, say, a serial killer and give him an AI program, it's going to learn how to kill
Hmm.
and get away with it and create the perfect crimes.
Right.
Whereas if you take someone who, has nothing but pure, benevolent, good intentions, the AI is going to only learn how to help.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
depends on who put the source code in and the intention behind them, what that AI is going to do. And so that's the part that I have that's curious is, because it could be in the shell of benevolent council or benevolent star race, and but we don't know if that programming has ever been messed with or anything. And so I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. And do I think that it's, part of Project Bluebeam? Could be, because it would be, right up the alley to, spoof us by putting an object in space and launching it towards us and saying, oh, look, the
But
aliens sent us a probe. And we all freak out over it, which is what's going on.
I mean, yeah, but also, is this like their way of taking a baby step to get us closer to the reality that this thing is here, and they're just telling us now slowly because there's something coming up that they can't stop. Like, this also crosses my mind. And by the way, these aliens, if they're coming, they better be attractive. They better like big girls.
Well, it is called Atlas, so we all know who Atlas is, which that's the interesting thing. I have never heard anyone reference it, in that way of saying, Atlas is the Greek god, if you want to say god or Titan, or I'm not even sure what his role is because it depends on the story that you hear.
Right.
But he is the one that holds our planet on his shoulders, which I gotta admit, when I think about this, going, if he is physically holding our planet on his shoulders, how do we spin?
Right.
That
Yeah.
has gotta be burning his back like nothing else. It's like, but
Got an arm cramp right now. I mean, that's why
yeah,
there's quakes or
like
something.
it's the earthquake because he's gotta loosen that muscle, and he had to quickly re-grab us. But no, but I think that's interesting. If you think about, how all of our ancient wisdom is actually more advanced than we are now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is there a connection to Atlas? That's why they called the system Atlas.
You know what? Yeah, because everything's got a secret code. Everything has a secret little code to it. Our Easter egg, or whatever people like to call it. It's odd. It's obviously something. Something's going on. Do I think it's going to come here and damage us? No, I don't. I don't feel. Now, I've been having some really strange dreams. Maybe, I mean, when I have dreams, they usually come true. When I have these types of dreams, they usually come true. Um, and it's been a lot of heavy winds, lots of flooding. Of course, we're already having this, but this was different. This felt different, and there was entities around me, and it was just creepy. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's coming, and they're trying to make an excuse. I don't know, but something doesn't feel right to me, if that makes sense. But I don't feel it's coming here, landing, and we're all gonna get probed and like vacuumed up into this fucking
Sorry to
probed in
disappoint you,
a I mean,
folks.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all you who are wishing for that. Not happening. Not that type of
Fingers crossed.
aliens.
You never know, right?
But and it's interesting you talk about the dreams and everything that's going on. Is a few people that I've been talking with, and I haven't correlated this, but they're starting, and I've noticed this, to where you'll have a night where you'll just all of a sudden feel numb to everything, and you go to sleep, and when you wake up, it's like something's different. It's like your perception, your filters, something has been changed, and reactions to things have changed. So I'm starting to talk with one of my friends about, did we get upgraded? Is the Atlas energy that it's pushing into the sun pushing through all the negative stuff that's been blocking the sun? And so those of us who are aware and awake and, you know, in tune with everything that's going on, are we upgrading to our true potentials because the Atlas is coming through and opening
Right.
the field, so to speak?
Oh yeah, and energetically, I feel well. I know what we say, our words and our thoughts do create the world around us. Eventually, sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it's quick, but lately it's been really quick. I mean, if you ask for something with your whole heart and being, and it's for a good reason, it's happening quick, and not just with me, with a lot of people, and it's interesting. So there's an energy shift. There's something energetically different. I do agree with you on that very much. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Schumann has been
Yeah.
off the chart, like way more, I think, recent with the Atlas. And my mom watches Stephen Burns and some other people, but Stephen Burns was kind of hinting at, is it the three eye Atlas messing with the sun that's causing these frequencies to raise, and what's going to happen? And I kind of, have to think, I don't write down when, all this stuff starts happening, but mentally, it's like, I think it was all around the same time when Three Eye Atlas was announced, and how it's getting close, and in December it's supposed to come, and now they're saying there's some people that are like, oh, well, actually, hate to disappoint y'all. The Three Eye Atlas is taking a left turn at some point, and it's not coming towards the Earth anymore. And
That's
I was like,
disappointing, honestly. I'm ready for something to happen because
yeah,
I think that's why I think that's why the GOV is taking a little break to distract and get us upset. I think that's why the ice shit partly is happening to get us upset and distract. They're trying to keep our eyes and minds on the ground and not up. But at the same time, they're announcing it. So it's like they're legally announcing something because they're forced to, maybe. But they're trying to distract us with all this trauma and despair.
actually, I think the GOV shutdown started as a distraction, but I think it's been overturned and is going to cause a shift in which, when it restarts, we're going to have maybe new currency, new system, new
Something's happening.
communications, new, a bunch of new energetic things that are helpful. Maybe not, and maybe med beds kind of becoming part of that. And
Yeah.
they have to get rid of all of the forces that are against all of this. And so, what's the easiest way to do it? Shut them down.
Yeah.
Because what's the one rule of the government? You cannot arrest a government official while they're active in their role. Like, the president cannot be arrested
Oh,
as
that's right.
president.
Yeah.
And so, with the government shut down, congressmen and representatives are not congressmen and representatives.
That's
They're
a
not
bullshit
working.
law. Dude, if I work at Subway
So,
and I steal a sub for lunch, I can't get arrested, can I? Because I'm at Subway, man. I'm a sandwichier. What do they call themselves? A sandwich artist.
yeah.
Man, fuck this. Okay. Yeah,
But yeah,
I operate
that could be what's
bullshit.
going on, is they're cleaning out the government
I
from
hope
all
so.
these entitled roles that could not get, that are there but were never hired, were never appointed. They were just there, and now they're like, hey, we can axe you now because government's not in official capacity.
What? You don't show up for work.
Yeah,
Guess what happens? Yeah, exactly.
clean house. And so I, I'm keeping a wishful eye and also a skeptic eye on what's going on with that
Yeah.
because it's like I tell my mom and people all the time of, they say all this stuff is going on, but we don't see it, and things don't appear major levels to be changing. So it's kind of like, is it? Is it? I don't know. Until I really, really see something pointing towards, it's
Yeah.
all speculation. But I will say, in all the years that I've been grown up enough to like be aware what's going on, I
Mhm.
think this is the longest the government's been shut down.
It has. I believe so. Yeah.
And so that, I think, is a major thing in itself of what's going on. And I love how the deep state states that they control are the ones that are complaining that all these benefits are disappearing and they're not entitled anymore. In the other states, I haven't really heard of them having major issues. And so it's kind of like, as they say with the movie, are we showing, who the entitled states are and which states need to clean house?
Well, I tell you
Because,
what, they're going to have anarchy in November when they take people's food stamps away. I used to be on food stamps when it was just me and my son, and we wouldn't have survived without them. So guess what happened? And I think they're doing. I know they're doing this on purpose to make people do this. And again, I think for a distraction because there's going to be a fucking war when you can't feed your kids. You know what I mean? Or yourself.
well, but here's the question: are they actually going? I don't see the white hats or any hats. Well, the black hats maybe, but the white hats and the benevolent ETs and everybody that's they say are here to help. I don't see them putting people in a position to where they can't get food.
Yeah. I
And so, will the entitled welfare and food stamp system get closed? Maybe. But maybe it needs to, because there are situations, like you with your son, that's a legitimate case.
Oh yeah, there's people that take
But
advantage, of course. Yeah, but that's everything.
yeah, I mean, my mom was telling me a story about a lady who was complaining that she can't go get her nails done on the government dime. And I'm like, why in the first place are you getting your nails done on the government dime? That,
I know.
that's that's not what that money's for. And she's like, I can't go get my designer handbags. And I'm like,
What?
what are
Yeah.
you doing? How has this even legally been happening? And so that's where I think this shutdown is causing is, yeah, there might be a time where people don't get the funding right away, but I think it'll resume, and when it resumes,
Yeah, I don't know.
it'll be only the people who are legitimately supposed to be on it, and
Yeah.
not
Just handicapped
the
people and
people
bad.
who are like, well, I have 7 kids. How am I going to feed them? Because and going, they're just having kids because the government pays for it,
I mean, they
and
definitely
that
do
is
that.
not how the system was set up.
Yeah, but also, in my opinion, maybe I'm just a hippie, but food is food, and it's sad that we're conditioned kind of to think, well, who's allowed to get extra food and who isn't. I think everybody should have food, and whether you can get it or not easily, I think that should be a water, food, health. I think, and it's just so sad that we're conditioned to be like, well, are you, sick enough to get? I mean, I lost my son's father because he wasn't sick enough with his cancer. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then he died like 3 months later because he was sick. It's just, it drives me nuts. But anyway.
Well, it's a corrupt system, and so that's affecting
Oh yeah.
cleaning house, and there
Mm,
is going to be a period of calamity while they're cleaning it out because we got to realize, these systems have been around for decades, and
yeah.
so the corruption that's been in there has also been for decades. It's not a quick, easy, okay, let's put an algorithm in, clean this out, and we're good to go in a week. It's like, no, it's going to take time, unfortunately. But I don't think it's going to go into the point of people starving and not
Well, maybe it
having
works through the window.
necessities.
Yeah. Oh, really quick. Have you ever heard? This ties into this kind of. Have you ever heard of Yellow Rose for Texas? It's an older lady's YouTube channel. Have you heard of her?
I haven't heard of her, but I do know the Yellow Rose of Texas was Lady Bird Johnson, who not a good family to be associated with,
Oh, no. Well, this lady, she
but
looks at I don't know. She's into aliens and crafts, and she shows radar things with strange anomalies, and she talks about this egg-shaped craft that's coming to save humankind, and that she said the good ones. I mean, she's been doing this for over 10 years, but it's interesting listening to what she's been saying for years. It's kind of coming to play with whatever is coming now. I mean, it's just interesting. So if anybody does want to look her up, it's Yellow Rose for Texas. You would like her. It's interesting.
yeah, I'll have to look that up. And what's interesting too is, all the people who have been like quoted as being like conspiracy theorists that have gone public and said, "Oh, this is that." Probably close to like 60% of them have actually now been like, I think they're no longer considered conspiracy theorists because there's too much truth behind what they're saying now. And
Right.
I mean,
You know.
Hollywood, I think, has started cleaning house because you don't see a lot of actors and actresses in movies like you used to. It's starting to become the same people over and over in different roles. It's like, and they're remaking stuff, so it's like easier to get it out. But I have to admit, I'm surprised at the amount of disclosure that's coming. It's like revved up, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I also find really interesting is I was talking to you about this before on the phone, was watching Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, and I'm not going to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but there is an interesting facet of we never really started talking about until this year AI as like a malevolent force coming here. It was talked a little bit about it last year, say the last 2 years. Well, this movie is all about AI.
Oh.
And so it takes about a year to film it, a year to edit it and get everything done and scored and everything. So you got to think this movie is probably was being filmed 3 years ago, which puts it ahead of
That's true.
what's
Yep.
going on. And so it's like interesting how, did they know and were we being warned? And now we're like being shown,
Yeah.
here's this and here's that. But I'm finding it interesting that I've Hollywood remaking things has taken a dark turn.
How so?
And so I don't know if you watched the movie Dune. it was in the 80s.
So the new one, not the old one. Yeah.
The old one was in the 80s with Kyle MacLachlan,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like super long. They even called it an epic.
Uh,
But that story, I was like, man, that really resonated with me. So when they said they were remaking it, I had my doubts, but I was like, okay, I'll give it a fair shot.
mm.
I watched the first two parts, and I was like surprised at how they ruined the story.
Oh shit! Really?
They changed pieces of the story that were really important pieces,
Huh.
and they, in essence, and I will share more about this movie because I'm sorry it's been out for a while. You can even get it on Amazon, so I'm not really spoiling anything.
Yeah.
But in the first movie, Kyle MacLachlan's, he is seen at the end as being the bringer of rain, the bringer of peace to the land, and unifier. In this movie, he takes over the emperors, and he takes
Uh,
over and he starts a war with everybody right out the bat, ditches his wife that he was supposed to marry
right.
for somebody else. And I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, wait a minute. And I was like, where, and it's like the last scene is they show him like this warmonger. He's like, we're going to take the war to the great houses now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, whoa, that was not the story. The story, you know, it didn't end and go right into that. There was a period, but they made it look like him becoming the sacred messiah, so to speak,
Yeah.
led them to war. And he was the killer of billions of people. And I was like, whoa, that was not the original script. That was not the 80s version. And I was
Well,
like,
he did that.
I have to wonder what is the reason behind why they would remake and make it a totally different message to the movie. It's like, what in today's world, why do they need us to be afraid of becoming divine?
Oh, yeah. That's like people now are saying, "Don't go into the light when you pass." You have to say, "I want to go back to source" or something like that. Are we going to remember this? First of all, is there going to be option A and B, or do I just have to hope for the best? It's strange. Are we? Well, first of all, do you remember? Didn't Obama make a movie? Do you remember that? I forgot what it was called. So my point is, I think somebody's got to know what I'm talking about. I suck with words, but anyway, I do feel that they make movies to warn us about future situations. I really do, like read in between the lines type of thing.
Yeah. And talking about like TV celebrities, I remember when we were first starting, and talking about this, doing this episode, that I shared with you something about a celebrity that you like. I could hear you gasping and being like in shock on the phone, and that was Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I had just seen at the Eisman Center where I volunteer a production where you could hear the radio call of her on her flight, and you could you'd listen to it through headphones. I didn't get to hear it because I wasn't there for that part, but I saw the equipment, and it was interesting to see the story and all of these research and notes and everything. And Then, as the production starts, they start talking to this lady, and her name is Betty Clank, and she was 15 years old in 1937 when Amelia went missing.
Mm-hmm.
She's in St. Petersburg, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and she's listening to the AM radio, like the radio of the day, which picked up all kinds of sounds. It's kind of was like, I think, the precursor to ham radios.
Yeah.
But she was drawing and she was working in, oh, they called it shortwave.
Okay.
She hears a voice come across the radio as she's scanning for a station that says, "This is Amelia Earhart. This is Amelia Earhart."
Oh wow.
And she was a fan. So she starts writing down all this stuff that she's hearing in a notebook with some drawings. And she was getting messages like, "This is Amelia Putnam Earhart," or "Amelia Earhart Putnam. Water's high. You need to help us quick." And so she hands her notebook over to her dad, and her dad, knowing Amelia is missing, goes to the Coast Guard and says, "Hey, here is communication, we think, on shortwave on this frequency from Amelia Earhart."
Mm-hmm.
Now, you would think, because this is the first female aviator, she's on headline news, people are actively searching for her, right? The Coast Guard dismisses this guy and Betty's story and her notebook, never takes a look at it. And I'm like, why? Why would the Coast Guard not take information leading to a celebrity in the
Right.
news that's missing?
Right. Yep.
And so it got me starting to think, what was Amelia doing that she must have pissed somebody off? And she was known for doing solo flights.
Didn't somebody come with
She
it?
had, yeah, there was somebody in this flight. So it
I
begs the
didn't know that.
question,
Right.
who was this guy in the plane? Because she's always done solo. Why is there a guy all of a sudden in there? And why would the Coast Guard not investigate the frequency? I mean, what does it take to tune a radio
Right.
and go, "Hey, we spent, 6 hours, nothing came through. It must have been a fluke atmosphere bouncing."
Mm-hmm.
Then you'd be like, okay, no big deal. You investigated. It was a dead end. No worries. But to say, no, we are not going to investigate that,
They were told to not. Absolutely. Yeah.
that's what I think is she pissed off somebody in the government, and the government was trying to get rid of her. And so a bunch of things were put into place to make her disappear.
Well, weren't there pictures found of her after the fact in some island with that guy? Like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they were her, but it was a white, thin lady at that time and on an island with the same figure of the man. I don't know. There's different stories for this, but I think it's really interesting. So either she pissed somebody off or she was undercover and they had to make it seem like she passed away. You know what I mean? Which they
Right.
do all the time. So I don't know. I think then some people think she was eaten by those big ass, what are they? Not lobsters. The big Australian spiders. What do you call them?
Oh, like the camel spiders,
coconut
Afghanistan.
spider. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
I think it's interesting. There's obviously something up. It kind of reminds me of Admiral Byrd and
yeah,
his situation. And he slipped up. Well, he was a good guy, but they he slipped up on air about what he was finding, and then after that, they shut him down pretty quickly and made him say, "Oh, it was nothing, this and that." Do you remember that?
I do. And I mean, the mistake is his journals talked about entering the hole,
Right.
and so they didn't destroy the journals, and so the word still got out. So yeah, as much as he retracted, there was still the evidence. And I mean, and you gotta wonder too, with all these little nuances going on with famous people,
Oh.
why is it that we're only paying attention to the famous people? It's like
Right.
nobody cared about Antarctica being a potential base of anything until Admiral Byrd.
Right.
Then it was, you know, everybody's attention turned to it. Well, what about all the other people that went there? Why, wasn't it, you know, thought anything of it until this person? So that's another aspect that always makes me, kind of wonder, why as a culture and a people do we need somebody of celebrity status
Right.
to bring awareness to something that carries more weight than the average person who could sit there and say, I've seen 5 UFOs in the sky at one time and nobody says anything.
Right.
But if the media gets a photo, or if the media can get a famous name that says, oh, there were 5 things over my head and this is what they did to me, then they're like, cool, we can sensationalize this and it becomes front page news. And it's like, what is wrong with everything? And I don't know that we can write it off as human nature.
I think it's control. You can control the Hollywood celebrities to put out your narrative. You can't really control the everyday person, so to
Yeah,
speak.
I mean, I forget the name of the program, but I think you know of it, LaLa, where they sit there and they can put a satellite over an area and beams messages down, and it goes into the brain and it
Mhm.
hears it so many times that it becomes a reality, and they do it.
Yep. It's
But
was it
then,
electronic warfare or something like that?
yeah, and I mean, so it makes me wonder, some of these reports of sightings and everything, are they really sightings because they get sensationalized? That is it, or is it like Project Bluebeam, where they
Right.
take and they're supposedly going to put a huge hologram of Jesus in the sky? Or the
Mm-hmm.
other report is they're going to be like UFOs, like coating the sky and
I mean,
base.
why are they doing that? If there's already UFOs, why are they making up some bullshit about it? It just doesn't make sense at all. I guess a control factor, but it just doesn't make sense. There's so many things I've seen over military bases that are not publicized that they could if they're really searching for truth. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I do not understand what I'm so confused on what is going on. They have the proof, they're not showing it, but then they're like tiptoeing around that they want to find it, but they have to have a big to do and bring all the fancy UFO people to court and have it's a show. That's all it is. It's a show.
Yeah,
I think we're in a realm, and I think nothing is what it seems, and I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, and I think Eddie Bena from at Benno from Oz 1975 is right. It's spin. They can spin it and keep us in fear of what's coming,
Right.
even though those of us who know what's coming are not going. And here's the biggest, I think, conspiracy theory that I've seen that I think people don't see it as such, and I'm curious your take is when they try to go in and erase history, like they were trying to erase the Civil War, then trying to erase Revolutionary War things.
Holocaust. So it's a
Well,
little bit.
what was the meaning behind those events? Well, Civil War was states' rights. Sorry, it wasn't slavery. That's the story they tell you. It was about state rights over federal government. And it was also, then you look at the Revolutionary War, and it was like 1, maybe 2% of the population overthrew the empire that ruled the planet, so to speak. They were like the number one empire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest scene that shows the impact of that war, whether or not you believe we won or not, because I know even that's under contention right now, is the line where Cornwallis, said, "What has the world come to? Where an army of rabble can overthrow civilized government." And that was their way of saying, it doesn't take majority. It was a minority people, but they all unified
Mm-hmm.
and overthrew the mightiest empire on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did we do with it? We didn't know what to do with it, so we, we're figuring it out, and laws were made that were good for the time but maybe not good for now, and that's why you
Right.
see amendments being made and everything. But one thing that I find that's interesting that nobody is talking about, and the reason I'm going here, is our Constitution being the law of the land. There is a piece of the Constitution that was written by Eisenhower in the 1950s that says Sharia law can never be legal in the United States. Now, why in the 1950s would he write that into the Constitution
Mm-hmm.
and they pass it and it's now the law of the land? But now we're all of a suddenly going, oh, well, it's okay for them to do that. I'm like, wait, no, it's against the national law.
For certain people, I guess it's not. You know.
And so I think that's, what I think is interesting with this movie is it's pointing out, it's like, this is not new. It's like what we're going through. They were worried about it in the past. And I mean, in the 50s, we're told in the 50s it was US versus USSR. The
Mm-hmm.
Soviets, the communists, Red China too, versus America, the democracy. Well, newsflash, people, we are not a democracy. We've never been a democracy. If we're a democracy, our lovely representatives and congressmen are fired from their jobs because they don't exist in a democracy. A Senate is in a republic. So we are a democratic republic. We need that second part to legalize our government system, and people, I kind of like when people sit there and talk about, oh, this is what's coming up, and America's the forefront of democracy on the planet. I'm like, you just lost me because we're not a democracy. We don't stand as a democracy.
I think, I mean, like I said, I'm not political because I personally think, now, in the small towns, I do believe vote counts for people,
Yeah,
but on the grander scale, I think it's all bought and paid for. I think there's other entities or people running the show, and I think they make us feel part of things to make us think we're voting for something when I feel maybe we don't really have any say so in the end. I think they just kind of make it up as they go, whatever suits whatever the agenda is at the time. Because it just, there's so much. I mean, wasn't this all started to help the people? But now I mean, they used to kind of hide that they weren't helping us, but they don't hide at all. They really don't care about how we're doing,
yeah.
protecting us.
They're keeping us divided, and that's what
Not
kind of,
all of them, but you know what I mean.
yeah. And it's surprising to me that instead of having the two-party system or multi-party system, it's coming down to two fundamental ideas. Is this system going of electorates going to unify us, or are they going to keep us separated? Because one side of the equation wants us separated in fear of each other, fighting each other, and
Dividing.
the other side wants us to unify and stand as a whole. And it's like people don't see it. And it's like it's amazing to me how it's so in your face, but
Yeah.
they're so ingrained that they can't see
Right.
what's going on in front of them. And even when people of their own stature try to bring awareness, they're like viewed as traitors, and they're like,
Right.
you're not really, it's like, really? So as much as you say you don't like being segregated against and discriminated against, you're the one that's discriminating and segregating.
I do agree with that very much. That is confusing to me, but
Yeah,
I get it because we're brought up to pick a side. No matter what the issue is, we have to pick a side, and if we don't pick a side, we're bad. If we pick a side, we're bad. It's just they want us divided on every aspect. It doesn't matter
yeah,
what the subject is. That's how they have control, and I think it's going to backfire eventually on them. I think what's going to happen is it's going to get to a certain point where we all get together to help each other, and protect each other. That's what I
yeah.
feel. It's
Yeah,
what we
and
need that anyway. We do need that. There's no reason for all this shit anyway. So,
yeah, we
in
don't
my
need
humble
all
opinion, I should say.
this. Yeah, I agree. In my opinion, we don't need all this division anymore. And imagine the world we would be in if we unified. Like, everybody says like Tesla, could have had free energy all over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's keeping us from having that? Well,
Them.
the
Somebody.
people who are making money off of charging
Right.
us for electricity. They're not going to give up their means, their
Right.
income. But it's like, at what point do we sit there and say, enough is enough, we're done? And so we don't get into a political rant because that's not either what my show's about. Kind of, I think uh, I want to sidestep it, and you had sent me some interesting photos, and you had
Yeah.
asked to talk about that. Do you want to pull them up on your end, or do you want me to pull
Can
them
you
up?
do it? Because I'm on Bob's laptop and I've never been on this before, but can I get a minute to get a drink really quick? Is that okay?
If you must. Yeah, you can do it. I'm just messing with you.
Okay, should I go now or?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't look. Come on, puppy, let's go. Come on, puppy.
Oh, let's see if I can pull this up while she's gone. Let's see. Probably need to sort this. Did I sort it? Yeah. No. And FYI, just for point of since LaLa stepped away, I wanted to take a second and share with you all that LaLa actually has a balloon company and is still face painting. So she has a lot of interesting stuff that's going on. So maybe if there's time, we can get her to share a little bit about what's going on with that side of her world too. And let's see, I want to make sure I get the right photos because one I know was not supposed to be shown, so I'm hoping I'm grabbing the right ones. And we will see when she comes back if I did in fact grab the right photos. And I'm sorry you guys are having to listen to me sound like I'm kind of rambling a little bit. That's just me talking to myself. So
I'm almost there.
sorry for the look into my brain. It gets a little scary in there sometimes. Just kidding.
No, he's not. He's not kidding at all.
I'm really not.
Okay, thank you.
Here we go.
Okay, so that was a little over 6 months ago. That's in the middle of my chest, and I woke up to that bruise. Now, I don't bruise very easily on my upper body at all. And that's in a position, I mean, I'm not being rude, but that'd be pretty hard to get me a bruise like that right there in that area. And the shape of it, some people think it's a bite mark. Some people it's a triangle, or I don't know. But it
Well,
was there. It stayed there for about a day or two, and then it completely vanished.
what I find interesting about it is the yellow tint is in a like pyramid, and this side looks like I could see why they would say bite marks,
Mm-hmm. Right,
but this side doesn't have that. It's different.
right.
It's like there's one, two, and then this little thing here where these are connected. So it's almost, I would almost say it almost looks like a structure.
Okay. Yeah. I do want to say that a few years ago, I did wake up to something attacking me, being inappropriate with me to the fullest. I mean, I'm not going to say what, but I felt everything, but I couldn't see anything. So, me waking up with these weird bruises are a little concerning. Um,
Yeah.
but,
Oop.
you
No, sorry. I was trying to see if I could switch because it
oh,
doesn't
I don't
give
care.
me
I
the
just don't want
thing.
you to get flagged or whatever.
Oh no, I didn't put that image
Right.
on.
So that's how large this thing was. Pretty large. So somebody would have had to like hit me with a strange chair, triangle chair or something in my chest.
Yeah.
Um,
Why is it jumping so fast on me? But yeah, there it's zoomed in to where you can see it more to where It almost looks like it actually looks like there's a design of something within it on the left side.
And that looks like it's been there for a while. The coloring of it and everything, you know. Um,
Well, and what's interesting, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to create something out of nothing, but I'm noticing like little green, like like marks every once in a while in different designing
oh,
space somewhat around, and I don't know if that's the camera doing that
I don't know.
or what, but it actually is making it look like your mark goes from here to here, and it's actually much bigger than you thought.
Okay, yeah.
So that,
Give me chills. Ugh.
sorry, but
Oh no.
here's
Yeah. So that is I took a photo. This is on the middle of my back, and this was what, like a month ago, I guess it
yeah,
happened. I tried to adjust the photo to show that so there's three and dots. Not they were like little piercings, and then there's a faint line connecting them in the shape of a triangle. Now the reason the one dot is larger is because I was standing up and I felt this tickle in my back, and it's a part of my back that's been numb for about 7, 8 years, right? And so I reach around, I start scratching, and I can feel one lump, and I scratch at it, because I'm like, oh my god, is it a tick or something? So that's why that's bigger. I didn't know the other ones were there. I asked Bob to take a photo for me, and that's what showed up. Um, those little piercings, which were lumps underneath as well, size of I guess a BB gun pellet, that size. It went away within a few days, but I still have a little bit of tingling tickle there, and I feel more there. And I tell you what, for a couple weeks after that, it was nonstop tickling. It was driving me nuts a little bit. It wouldn't stop that tingle tickle. It was very strange. And the only reason I knew it was there or found out was because of the sensation I felt. So
yeah, and not to add to your mental hysteria or anything, but
no, go ahead, go
I'm
for it.
finding, what is this? It
So
looks like a
that's the top of
graph.
the line. There's two lines going down, and that's just the tip of it. Do you see how there's a line going, connecting them into a triangle?
Well, I see the lines to these. I'm talking about what's above.
Oh, I don't know. Go to the original one. Maybe you'll see it better. I don't know.
Let's see.
Yeah, see the little line? And bugs don't do that. I'm sorry. They don't do that.
Hmm.
And it never
But
happened again. It never happened before. So,
I'm thinking it would be in this area, the thing that I was looking at in the black and white photo
mm.
that looked like a little mini craft, like nano sized.
And I do have an implant in my left leg. Now that's on the left side of the middle of my back. The thing on my breast, on my chest, was on the left side. I have an implant that I know I have an implant on my left leg. It's always on the left side. It's very strange.
That is strange, and why they favor that side. And I'm curious, what's your dominant side?
I'm right-handed.
So I wonder if left side because you, I don't know. It's like I'm trying to think, what would be the reason not to use your dominant side, but
I don't know. I looked it up, but there are quite a few people that have had those types of experiences, and they were on their left side as well, and quite a few were women as well. So I don't know what the meaning is. I would love to know if anybody has any ideas. Please let us know. I want to know what's going on, honestly.
Well, pyramids are power sources that are supposed to connect and transmute the energy of planet to the universal. So it's kind of interesting, if you think about your mark as being pyramid shaped,
Mhm.
but then again, it's like even the pyramids are being constantly re-evaluated and new things discovered. Like, they're saying water, on the bottom of the pyramid is what's needed with the capstone to make it a power station, which
And
is possible.
it's also the it comes in threes a lot. And about a week or two after the dots on my back, on my left forearm, on the bottom, were three very dark round bruises in the same spots, positions that the three dots were on my back. And those went away within like 3 days too. So when I get a bruise,
I'm
it's going to stay there a long ass time, not a day or two. You know what I mean?
right. I'm curious.
I'm either somebody's pet or, well, I don't know.
I just started thinking something.
What?
It is. So there, we talk about how like the pyramids are lined up to star constellations, and the fact of your marks are always looking like pyramids or triangles.
Yeah.
And I was like, started to think, is there something galactic about that? And there actually is.
Okay.
There's the three-star triangle constellation asterism,
Oh
known
shit.
as the Summer Triangle. That's the bright stars of Vega, Deneb, and Altar, which is Vega is in Lyra, the harp, Deneb is in Cygnus, the swan, and Altair is in Achaia, the eagle.
Lyra.
And so,
M56 is my dream. I had a dream that said M56. I googled it. It was Lyran or Lyra. I didn't know about any of that. Okay,
yeah,
so they're trying to let me know something then, and I'm just way too dense to get it, so they have to keep. But I've had
well,
a.
I mean,
Go ahead.
and it's interesting because that's the summer triangle. There also is a winter triangle, which is Sirius, Procyon, and Betelgeuse.
Beetlejuice.
And Sirius is in Canis Major, Procyon is in Canis Minor, and Betelgeuse is in Orion at the time. And it's visible in the northern hemisphere from about November to February.
Huh.
And so there also is Triangulum, which is a constellation that's a small constellation, so to speak, that's bordered by Andromeda, Pisces, Aries, and Perseus. While the name means triangle, it's not an obvious a triangle shape as the asterisms. But I noticed on the two different marks, one is clearly triangle, and the other is like what we would call the obtuse, where one is way further out, so it's not the perfect triangle.
Right.
So it could be,
A map, star map, dude.
a sign of, your Lyran side or, Orion side waking up.
Yeah, but what's the I mean, why? Why does this happen to people? You know, what
Well,
when you
let's
figure something out, what does it lead to next? Like, do you know what I mean?
well, and here's the interesting thing. When you said these marks appeared recently within the past few months, right?
Yeah.
What was the first thing we talked about that appeared to be really influencing everything in these first few months.
The 3-eye atlas. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh my
could
god.
it be connected?
I'm gonna get beamed up. I know it. Right.
Yeah, but didn't you say you wanted to that though?
Yeah. I mean, if I can come back, if I can take my kid and some friends, you can come with me. You know what I mean? If they have good food, okay, and internet, I'll go. I'll see.
Oh, that's funny. Oh wow, that just made me laugh at that one. If they have to have good food, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not even sure Star Beans actually even eat, so they'd probably be like, "We don't know what food is. You tell us what's good."
Here's a menu. Can you make this for me? Can you poof it up into existence? Thank you. I know y'all's AI can pick up Wi-Fi, so I don't want to hear shit. I'm
You
getting
know, that raises a good question because everyone talks about going into the Star Trek future, and they all have replicators, which not to be confused with the Stargate replicators.
yeah. Yeah, mama. Yeah, baby. I'm on the internet. You okay? Interview? Yeah. You want to say hi? Nah.
Hello.
He said hello. Okay. Hey. What's up?
But they talk about being in space and eating steak
And it just
or
appears. Yeah.
soup that is generated from a computer.
Right. I want that.
One question I have is, where is this meat being stored that the computer is able to generate this steak from? Two, what is that steak actually really made of?
So what was it Soylent Green? Remember that movie? Oh my god.
Yeah. And third
McDonald's
is,
form.
if this is computer coded food that just is like holographically appears, what is making it solid enough to actually eat and the body ingest it and say great?
Well, dude, technically, this is all frequency. I mean, this is kind of in a, so to speak, holographic because this realm isn't real in other realms. So our solid food really isn't exactly what we think it is. Does that make sense? It's all energetic. So I'm sure they can figure something. I bet you they have filet mignons, number 3 up in space, like a vending machine.
Well, you laugh, but I was listening to Randy Kramer, and he's I believe it's colonel in the military who is in the secret space program.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching his lecture, and he goes, "Here's an interesting thing for y'all. I have experienced this, but when you go to a galactic bar, so yes, the bar scene is intergalactic." He goes, "Our cheapest beer is their top shelf. They love our beer, and you can go to stores and find in galactic markets and find Van Halen shirts." And I was like, "They know who Van Halen is?" And he's like, "No, but they just think it's cool because it's Earth stuff." And so he's like, "If you wanted to make," he goes, "so in the future, if you wanted to make a bunch of money, you could brew your own beer at home, sell it on the intergalactic market, make billions of dollars off of it."
Oh my
And he goes, "And the funny thing is, it doesn't have to taste good because they view our worst beer as their best beer."
Oh my God. That's why
So,
there's so many weird things in the Appalachian Mountains because all the moonshine is
yeah.
attracting all the weird shit there. I'm telling you.
But
Well,
yeah, I mean, it's like,
and this guy's a colonel, or what is he?
I think he's Colonel.
I mean, for real?
Yeah. He literally served. He really did serve. And
Oh, okay. I'll look him up. I mean, I believe it. I do. There's all kinds of things that we don't know
yeah.
about. You know, I wasn't
But I
expecting,
mean,
but
he was like, yeah, and he's like, if you drop sizes and you want to make some money, save your clothes, sell them on the galactic market. He's like, making billions of dollars will be so easy for Earthlings because the galactics eat up our stuff. They love our stuff,
I
even
wonder.
though they don't know what it means.
Well, that's like us getting Chinese symbols tattooed on our bodies. We don't know what it really is. A lot of times, there's people that get things they shouldn't get tattooed on them. So that's probably what it's like there.
Yeah,
That's interesting. See, now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. I believe it. I do.
you do that anyway.
I do. I like doing that. Yeah, I do.
So, what y'all don't realize watching this is tonight, this has been like a normal phone call for us. We do this. We will call each other and just talk about what conspiracy theory, what is going on, and there are even times when I'll be like getting ready for a show and LaLa will message me and go, "I need a couple of good conspiracy theories. What you got?" I'm like, "What about this? What about that?" Cool, thanks. Never hear what came of it, but
Oh my
yeah.
God. I know it's getting close to ending, but I just wanted to. Can I ask a? This is kind of conspiracy, but it's not like a paranormal one. Can I bring it up real quick? I'm gonna.
Has any of the ones we brought up been paranormal?
Okay. Has have you or anybody else been watching the Gypsy Rose thing, rabbit hole?
No.
Dude, oh my God. You have to Google. Now, when you Google her, in my humble opinion, it's going to say a certain story. This woman, is cuckoo. She's a psycho. It's very interesting to watch the psychology of her. I mean, it's huge. It's like this big rabbit hole. It's so interesting. I'm very addicted to it. But anyway, that's it.
No, but oh, here's a good conspiracy one for you. Arkansas now houses the U.S. Space Force,
Yeah.
and Mount Weather is in Arkansas and has become active again. And it was supposed
Oh,
to have been shut down in the 1950s and was believed to be part of CIA black op programs.
I believe it.
So why is Mount Weather now becoming active again? And why? Why is it becoming active again? It's a really big question.
Mhm. Well, and then this hurricane that's over Jamaica right now. And I know everybody says this when they're in a hurricane that it doesn't feel normal, but there's many people saying this one just doesn't feel normal at all. There's this shift. I bring it back to what you're saying, but I also bring it to like CERN. I know that people think they're just being innocent, but none of them put that much money into something for something simple. It's to what, get to different realms, get to different
Yeah.
beings, become a god type situation, like, and that affects everything, you know.
Oh yeah, they're tearing holes in reality. I totally buy that.
Oh yeah. And the
I
Mandela
mean,
effect. Some people think it's the Mandela effect is because of CERN messing with something, but it could also be a psyop. I kind of think America is pretty much a corporation more so than anything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it hurts. I could be wrong, but whatever. But also, I also partly think some Mandela effects are, like you said before, it's to erase our history. If you confuse us, you have control over us, and we'll
yeah,
think maybe they're right, maybe it wasn't like that. It's just weird.
yeah. And I just had an interesting question pop up in the chat room for you, LaLa.
Oh, okay. What is it?
At home, Jim Physique says, for some reason this stream popped up. Maybe because I watched the Y Files. Good program. I checked out LaLa's X channel, and it states she was abducted by aliens? Question mark.
Yeah, I have. Well, okay, I should say when I was really little, like 5 or 6, I would have reoccurring dreams of UFOs dropping me off in my backyard. And this was at a time where I didn't know what a UFO was at all. And so a couple years later, when my dad watched a movie. Anyway, and then 20 some years later, I started flying for the first time and I would set off their metal detector. And back then, you could see in more detail what they were seeing in the metal detector, more so than you can now. And it's in my left thigh area, and it's the size of a piece of rice. It's still there. It's been over 20 years. It's still there. I don't know how it got there. There's no scar. I didn't fall. There's no surgeries there. So, and I've had experiences that I just can't explain. Um, and so I thought I was going crazy. I kept it to myself for many years. I'm 44 now. And then a couple years ago, I met lots of people like us, and the same things I was going through, tons of other people were going through also. Um, and so, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot you're a youngin.
Huh?
I said, I forgot you're a youngin.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're younger than I am.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were younger than me. I did. Well, you look young, but that's good. That's good for us. You know what I mean? No, but also I have a conspiracy of I'm O negative blood. My parents had experiences. I've seen crafts in the sky, and other people saw it with me. It wasn't just me. So yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder, has that person that asked the question, have they ever had an experience that they can't explain?
I don't know, but he did comment with respect. It's hard to believe,
Well,
and
sure, yeah, of course it is, and that's okay. I mean,
that's the
obviously, I'm
point,
not here to prove a point. I can't control what happens,
right?
but
And
this world is more than what we're taught, really. And
and
if you haven't experienced anything, that's probably good for you, because it's weird having those experiences.
I do believe aliens exist, though. But talking with it being hard to believe, I think they make it that way so that, I mean, if everyone believed everything that we said and took it at value, one, nobody would do their own homework and research.
Right. Yeah.
But two is there would be no means to control. And so
Right.
by making it look like, oh, this is
They're
impossible, never
crazy. Yeah.
happened, it serves their purpose. And so we're not trying to say, yes, this is 100% accurate or no, it's not. That's why I kind of titled this one being conspiracy theories is everything is a conspiracy theory until it's proven fact, and even then it's still viewed a conspiracy theory because nobody wants to believe it as a fact.
Right. And I'm a boyfriend, not husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely believes in that, and his other intelligence friends have know of other people that have been abducted, or had experiences. So it's worldwide, and it's not just humans; it's animals. It's all, and could it be something other than an alien? Yeah, I, it could be. I don't know what it is. I don't.
Could be.
It could be
Yeah.
a secret. What's it called? He also
My
believes that
lab.
my lab, where it's GOV, and sure, it could be. But I know it. There's things that happen to me that shouldn't have happened, and I can't explain, and it happens to a lot of other people too. So I'm open to anything, honestly. I'm here to learn. I'm not the type to say I know everything. I'm here to learn. I
Yeah.
don't know everything, and I want to know. I mean, it's cool. It's creepy. I like it, but I don't know everything.
And as the show host, I give space for everyone to share their experiences and their story. So we're not I'm not having guests on to prove one way or another. I'm just opening people's minds to
Yeah.
possibilities of other things out there that may help explain something that's happened to you. And so watching this may say, well, I had a similar mark, appear and didn't think anything of it. Maybe it's something like that. And so we're not out to prove one way or the other. We're just opening awareness to new ideas. And now he's saying, so
Even if
I'm
you could prove
confused.
it, there's certain people that just wouldn't accept it. So it's kind of pointless, which is okay. That's okay too.
Yeah. The meaning of the bruises caused by aliens, we're not saying that they are caused by aliens. We're not saying they're caused by man. We're just saying we don't know where the bruises came from, and we're looking for reasons behind what they could be. And like I was drawn to triangular constellations because we believe in star beings and star, hybrids, and that we have shared DNA with the stars. So that's an option. Could be ET, could be government, could be
Fictional. There's all
she
kinds of shit out there.
has a spring that's ironically in that shape and left a mark there, sleeping
What was
rod. We don't
it?
know.
Yeah.
We're just throwing out all possibilities. We're not saying what it is or isn't. So
Believe me, I do feel crazy half the time. I honestly do, But then the other part of me goes, well, this just isn't normal. And I know that there's something else going on because of other experiences I've had. You know what I mean? I mean, we've gotten video of
I
strange
don't
things happening that shouldn't have happened also. So we have some proof, but
And I just had an interesting question come into mind. I don't know that I've ever asked you. Have you ever thought about or tried removing the implant from your hip?
I mean, I would definitely go to a doctor and get it checked out and get it. I mean, it's still there. You can get an image of it. I don't know. I'm a little scared to get it removed because I hear people say that they pop back, but whatever I'm safest with, my body's safest with, because maybe this thing has helped me. I don't know. You know,
Oh yeah. I
who
mean,
knows?
we're assuming it's bad.
But,
It could be beneficial,
but
but I'm just
I do want to go to someone, a professional, and them check it out. I'm tempted to talk to my doctor and be like, because he's into aliens, but he doesn't know anything about me. But he's very nice, and I'm tempted to say, "Hey, can I get an image of this part of my leg? No reason, and, or
yeah,
it hurts here, but I don't want. I'm not gonna lie, but you know,
yeah. At home gym physique, you've come in at the end of a lot of stuff going on. So
it's so
um,
it's little foreign
I,
pieces in the body. Just Google it. It's a lot of people have them and they don't know why they're in their body.
Well, and I would suggest going back and re listening to the episode from the beginning because some of what we're talking about will make more sense.
Oh, and
And
watch Whitley Strieber. He talks about his implants in his body too.
yeah, actually, he does. And other people do as well. But I am going to turn over because I mentioned this actually while you were away. But in all fairness, I'm going to give the floor back to you, Lala, for
No shit.
your balloon and face painting business if you want to
Oh,
plug them.
thank you. Okay, thank you. Well, of course I've had a face painting business for almost 10 years now, and I added on with my son a balloon decor business, and I love it. I mean, we've worked in Washington D.C. and all over the different states around where I live. It's called LaLa Bright Balloon Decor and Face Painting. And if you're in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, or DC or Virginia, find me online and I'll make you a very pretty. I even have alien shaped balloons, so whatever. No, but I like it. I think it's fun. It makes a good amount of money. My son, I mean, he's 6 foot tall, so he's my helper, and it teaches him business. We spend time together, so I'm very grateful for it. And it makes other people happy for their events. And that's important too.
Yeah, it's very cool. And uh, check out her Instagram. And I don't think you post as much on Facebook, or my feed is so busy I don't see it. But I
I
see it more on Instagram where you post the pictures, and
Right.
TikTok too, don't you?
Not on TikTok. I privated that, but I have a Facebook business page, and then TikTok, and then no, not to Instagram and Thumbtack, which is where people find artists like me or freelance people. So if you
Very
need a
cool.
plumber or a balloon artist, there's plenty of types of freelancers on Thumbtack. So you're welcome. There you go.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you to everyone who's watching. And I'm going to wrap it up a
This was
little
fun.
bit. It was. And I'm going to say, LaLa, I know you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. My heart and my show's heart to your heart.
No.
Thank you for your service and all that you do for humanity.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. Thank you. I love coming on here. You're my friend. So anytime, I love talking to you. So
Yeah, we always have fun, and I hope we didn't disappoint with when we
oh,
got a
we did.
little
Oh, we
serious. But hopefully, people had fun too. So,
no.
and I am going to plug something that I normally don't plug,
Okay.
and that is at the end of the year. You all know that I do the grand finale showcasing everybody who's been on for the year, kind of an homage to how the season went. And then I introduced the next season coming. And this year I decided, instead of having just me talking about what a great season it was and what came of the seasons, I decided to invite a friend to come along and kind of celebrate the end of the year and beginning of what's to come, and showcase the premiere ads for the upcoming shows. And that is the one, the only LaLa.
Oh shit! I'm like, who is it? Oh my god! Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh my gosh, very cool. And oh, you gotta tell them about Lauren. I don't know if you want to say, but that's pretty important. Eisenhower,
Lauren.
the Lauren Eisenhower. You're gonna talk to her.
Oh,
Big deal.
so it so I haven't promoted this out yet, but
Sorry.
I on my other show, Riding Through the Unknown, on December 12th, I have a special episode which I'm hoping, fingers crossed, will go through, because it's a guest with a very important aspect to her, and that is I believe, if my memory is right, is it the granddaughter or great granddaughter? I think it's granddaughter of a president is going to be my guest. And that is barring any emergencies that come up, because life happens. But Laura Eisenhower will make an appearance, so I am super excited for that. And
Very cool.
I will let you all know when that's firmed up and locked in and solidified, probably closer to December. So, but next month I do have Greg Lawson, the paranormal detective, coming on, and Oh, who else was I talking about that was coming in? Brad Olson will be on one of my
Wow.
shows as well again.
Damn.
And this means, LaLa, you are now not the only one who has been on every season. This will
That's
be his first appearance this season, but he has been on every season. So
that's pretty impressive, honestly. That is
yeah.
good. Now you got to get that one guy that I always forget his name, but I really want to co-host with you when he comes on. What's his name?
I love how I know who you're talking about, and
Yeah.
it's like with
He,
all the people we know, it's like I know exactly who you're talking about.
I want him to come
And
on the show.
I am talking with him. It's Alex Collier,
Dude, yes, please do that.
and um, looking like it'll be season 4. I'll be pulling him back in, and he's been kind of busy with a lot of things going on right now. So this season, I kind of gave him a free pass,
Okay.
but
Well, tell him
it's
to hurry up.
only
I want
because
to talk to him.
I don't want to, harass and overextend friendship. But yeah, he'll be back on, and I'll see about making that happen if I can.
He's very, very interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has a weekly podcast too, and I am going to go and say goodnight to everyone because I just realized we're having a conversation and the show's like we kind of ended the show, but we never actually ended the show. So
Okay, I'm sorry. Good night, everybody.
I'm
Thanks so
like,
much.
I'm just laughing at
Well, I
myself.
said it was
Going,
ADHD paranormal tonight, so that's on them, not
yeah.
us. They were warned in a loving way.
So thank you, LaLa, for coming on and sharing tonight. And oh, we didn't even get well. Actually, we kind of did the spooky side because it's Halloween week. So everyone have a wonderful Halloween season,
Yep.
and we will see you back in November. And enjoy the candy and enjoy All Saints Day and Dia de los Muertos because we'll be coming back after those. So have a wonderful night, everyone. Wonderful week. Great Halloween. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along so that you won't miss LaLa's return to the show and other shows coming up. So, good night, everyone.
Good night.